My guest this day is Mr. Bola Oyeleke, who happens to be the president and CEO of Tomatoes and Orchard Producers Association of Nigeria, TOPAN. Thank you so much for joining us on
Thank you
today's
very much.
interview segment. As it were, the dry season is just round the corner. Tell us the level of preparedness because you are a horticulturalist and you're also, a financial expert.
As the Association of Tomato and Orchard Producers Association of Nigeria, we have been working towards a dry season. We have already started partnership with FCMB Bank that is going to give us some loan to be able to kickstart this dry season. And this dry season, we have already picked 12 states to start with 5,000 farmers in each state. And we're already on the process of land preparation. And for now, we're working towards how to make sure that the dry season meet up the consumption during the December and January period.
As it were, if you look at tomato farming, because that is central to our discussion today, tomato farming is largely a smallholder farmer kind of thing, and it's not very elitist. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Actually, we know we operate more in the system of small scale older farmer, and that is why we come across cluster farming. The cluster farming to make sure that we expand the production of this small scale farmer. And if they will come under the cluster farming, you find out that the yield that they're going to make will be more than when they are just an individual small scale farmer. So this is why we look at it as coming together as a cluster.
Coming together in clusters, I want to believe you visit these people in their domains. When it comes to issues that bother on, it's my ancestral land, it's my land, how can you possibly get these people to truly cooperate and come together as one?
Actually, before you start your cluster farming, you have to educate them, you have to train them, you have to create awareness, you have to tell them the importance of the cluster farming. When you go to a community, you find out that some family have more land than another family. And you find out that the family that have more land than the other family will not want to include other families into the system of the farmland to plant. But with this kind of sensitization, with this kind of education, you find out that the raising together to see how to come together, how to form this cooperative, how to form this cluster farming for the betterment of not just themselves, but the community. Tomato farming is a very lucrative business, and the federal government have not, Nigeria as a whole, have not really take up to 5% of the sector.
But sadly, we're importing tomato from Togo and other places, as I understand.
Yes, that is why we have not taken up to 5% of the business entity in the tomato sector. And that is why the association we're trying to do more to encourage government to focus more on tomato production, and not just the tomato production, to see how they can be able to decentralize the tomato production. This will bring about industrialization. And once you talk about industrialization, you find out that more of investor can come in for the processing, not just the processing, but value addition area where you can able to have your raw material to process to tomato paste and other product too. So we need to focus more on it.
Tomato is a perishable product. If not properly harnessed, if not properly preserved, we lose so much.
Yes.
So much hardly even makes it to the market. So when you talk about investors, share with us, are you getting, some level of acceptance on the part of investors to come and invest in this endeavor?
Yeah, we're getting we're getting some investors that really want to come to Nigeria to invest when it comes to value addition, when it comes to tomato. But we need to look at the sector. We need to we need to look at the policy of the sector. Like when we talk about train the farmer for the best practice of production of tomato, bringing good seed that will give us good yield. Our land preparation should start at the time that we need to start, so that the main goal that we're looking at the raw material. Right. The raw material have to be more excess before we're taking of industrialization.
As it were, Bola, why is it that we don't look for investors within Nigeria? We're always looking for foreign investment.
Getting some kind of finance as an individual to start up the processing machine is always sometimes a very difficult moment to be able to put down your processing machine. We still have some kind of stakeholder that are working, but we're looking at how to improve the value of tomato paste. So you have to look for investors that will come into the country that will expand the business so that other people can follow up too.
All right. I will want you to answer this question. What is Topan doing in this regard? Once upon a time, excess tomatoes. Next time, very little available, and the price goes up. How can we balance the two?
Okay, what Tomato and Orchard Producer Association has been, we'll be working on dry processing of tomato from the farm gate since 2020 to reduce post-harvest loss. And we have already been partnered with some foreign investor like Big Gate Melinda Project. We have been working on it for the past 3 years to see how to start bringing the machine by the end of this month into the system and start processing the tomato into dry tomato.
I wouldn't like that. Seriously. I don't think I would like to eat dry tomatoes. I think when they are fresh, they are better. And there are other variants. Can't we find a way of keeping them fresh?
The problem is that you know that Nigeria will consume more of fresh tomato, and we should be looking at how to add value to what we are doing. Not that you are eating the dried tomato is a source of preservation and easy to transport from the farm gate to the final consumption. And when you transport it to the final consumption, you can also process it back to the fresh tomato or back to your soup or back to your paste.
Being a tomato grower, I want to find out from you, must it be only during the dry season?
During the rainy season, tomato is very, very expensive to produce. You are fighting with a lot of pests, you're fighting with a lot of disease, you're fighting with a lot of challenge, so you have to spend more money to be able to cope on that. And that's why you find out that during the dry season, you have more tomato that people can buy in the market.
But what are we doing towards getting variants that probably could last longer without any form of preservation, probably can be more disease resistant, and what have you, as it
Yes,
were?
the research institution are doing very fantastic, like the Raw Material Research Institution. They've been working towards this seed, and even Seed Council too. They're working towards a seed that can resist and last for a longer time. Nine Alt have been doing fantastic in testing both local seed and the foreign seed together on how it can match, it can be able to survive in this our environment.
Talking about job creation, are the youths in any way getting involved?
Yeah.
And are they showing interest in any way?
Yeah, I think we'll be training since 2016. We'll be encouraging youth. We'll be encouraging youth to start with micro garden to see how they can know how to nurture, how to plant and nurture tomato in the small garden, which has been a little bit successful.
What about women? Do you have a place for women too?
Yeah, the place for women is the processing. We train women more on processing, value addition, on how to convert this tomato into tomato paste locally, and we work with GAIN to see how to improve value chain in technology. We also work with our Brigade Melinda too now.
If you were to predict, when can Nigeria be tomato sufficient?
I'm looking at 2027.
I'll hold you to that.
Yeah,
I'll
I'm
remind you
looking
when
at
we
that.
get there.
I'm looking at that because we have been talking to other sector, other financial player in the field to have confidence in the sector.
All right. Bola, Oyeleke, thank you so much for spending your thoughts with us.